Top story November 1st, 2025. Today, NASA confirmed that the 3I Atlas has begun transmitting a new series of coded flashes. Each burst contains exactly 3,141,592 data frames, the digits of pi. Mathematicians say the sequence is too perfect to be random. More alarming, the pattern repeats every 90 minutes, coinciding with Earth's own magnetic oscillation. The European Space Agency has classified it as a non-human geometric signal. When converted to sound, it produces a low hum that resonates with the human heartbeat. Several researchers reported dizziness and dream activity after listening to it. A leaked memo from the Pentagon warns that the Atlas may be attempting to synchronize human neurology through frequency. No official denial has been issued. Meanwhile, civilian observers from Mexico and Canada recorded a pale blue glow sweeping across the night sky minutes after the pulse. Whatever the Atlas is sending, it seems Earth is responding.
Are you paying attention at all to 3I Atlas? Are you watching
there's the Comet?
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I can say is, like, look, if I was aware of any evidence of aliens, Joe, you have my word, I will come on your show, and I will reveal it on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Avi Loeb was on the podcast a couple days ago talking about it.
Yeah. It could be aliens, I don't know. But
apparently today they're saying that it's changed course. Did you see that, Jamie? It's fascinating. It's fascinating also because it's made almost entirely of nickel, whatever it is. And the only way that exists here is industrial alloys, apparently. Avi Loeb, a few hours ago, the first hint of non-gravitational acceleration, that something other than gravity is affecting its acceleration, meaning something is affecting its trajectory beyond gravity, was indicated. Interesting. So it's mostly nickel, very little iron. That's a real problem if it hits.
Yes. No, it would, like, obliterate a continent type of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe was.
Yeah, probably kill most of human life.
NASA officials reveal they have decoded transmissions from 3I Atlas. What it says might change everything.
3I Atlas, the interstellar object once dismissed as dust and data, is no longer behaving like one. Its rotation has stabilized. Its trajectory is correcting against gravity itself. The telemetry isn't noise anymore. It's rhythmic, structured, deliberate. Astronomers are arguing over equations that read more like coordination than motion. If this isn't artificial, then physics is lying. And if it is, then the story of 3I Atlas has just entered a chapter we were never meant to witness. A flag in the system log. The alert didn't begin with a telescope, it began with a timestamp. At 2:43 Universal Time, a faint object slipped through the ATLAS survey's nightly feed from Hawaii. In the automated display, it appeared as a modest flag, a TLAS 2025 R2. The line scrolled past hundreds of others, pixels, coordinates, velocities, nothing special, but the program halted. The motion didn't fit any known orbital path. The velocity was too high, the vector too steep, and the residual error too clean to dismiss. Within minutes, the system labeled it unbound. That single word moved it from routine detection to anomaly, an object crossing our sky, but not belonging to our star. Atlas wasn't built to find wanderers from other suns. Its task is defense, mapping the near-Earth environment, tracing the faint threats that might drift too close. Every night it scans the heavens in twin exposures, linking points of light by motion and probability. Thousands of candidates vanish into noise, only a handful become names. But this one persisted. Frame after frame, the trajectory refused to settle into a solar-bound curve. The math said the sun could never reclaim it. By the time dawn reached the summit at Mauna Loa, the data had already spread. Independent telescopes confirmed the faint trail. Dim, blurred, but steady. The coordinates aligned perfectly. It wasn't debris, it wasn't a satellite. It was something passing through at nearly 30 kilometers per second, a speed too high for anything born here. The Minor Planet Center distributed the internal bulletin before noon. No headlines, no images, just a quiet notice that our system had been entered by a visitor from beyond. The official name would hold, but so would the unease behind it. If this one was found by accident, how many others have already crossed our skies, unrecorded, unrecognized, and gone before anyone thought to look up. Nobody looked up that night. The discovery reached the Minor Planet Center before anyone outside the network even knew it existed. A quiet electronic circular, no photograph, no press headline, just coordinates, brightness, and the provisional tag 3I Atlas. While the notice moved across servers in Cambridge and Tokyo, the world turned as if nothing new had entered it. No alarms, no broadcasts. Even the astronomers who read the bulletin did so between calibration runs, half aware that a third interstellar object had just been logged into human history. Interstellar detections don't arrive with spectacle, they arrive as numbers, ephemerides typed into command line. In the first 12 hours after the flag, the only audience was the network itself. Automated telescopes adjusting exposure tables, observatories queuing up requests for tracking time. 3I was already faint, its magnitude slipping toward 19. Any delay meant losing it to the noise floor of the sky. The next observing window was narrow, mere days before the object would fall too close to the sun's glare for most.
There's some unusual observations around 3I Atlas that are leading some people to think, hey, there's a high probability or some level of probability that it's not natural. What are those abnormalities?
That's right. So you can look at what has been detected as far as the chemical composition. They seem to think that with some of the plumes around that there aren't a lot of suggestions of water composition, but maybe high concentrations of nickel, which as we manufacture has low concentrations of iron. And that's what they're finding. And so Avi Loeb has suggested that because of that, it's possible that this is an artificial manufactured object and that it's utilizing its point right now closest to the sun today as what we call the perihelion as an opportunity to either potentially change trajectory. And so we might see that coming after today, within the next few days, weeks, or sometime here in the near future, if it might change direction.
So today it's on the backside, the dark side of the sun. It is being monitored, and this seems to be the moment of truth from what I'm led to understand. If the object changes course or changes speed, that will be an indication that it is not natural?
It could potentially give us an idea that there is some way that we can know more about its intentions. If it is artificial whatsoever, if it has any sort of signature, a techno-signature, a biosignature that we can understand. The Juno project is actually looking at using radio frequencies to detect if there's any sort of material detection that can be found as far as radio waves and things that can help us understand if it does have a signal as it continues to pass on through. But right now, it's something that we'll not be able to see from Earth because it is on the opposite side of the sun.
But I want to be clear. It's already behaving in abnormal ways, and it is behaving in abnormal ways, I believe, to include not normal gravitational expectations. But this moment, and tell me if I'm wrong, is the moment of truth. Like, if it behaves the way something we would expect to behave, with normal gravitational pull, then we can say, okay, it's a comet. But if it does anything abnormal, that really increases the expectation this is a spacecraft.
It's very possible that if, as we know, as our model suggests the universe to be, we would do something to the effect of utilize the gravitational pull of the sun or another star to make changes as we enter into another solar system. If we know that we already are currently looking at those capabilities, why not suggest that another civilization somewhere out in the universe might also understand those physics to do that as well?
When do we know?
I would say today it will be difficult for anyone to really have a good estimate, but leading on into the next few days and weeks, we probably will be able to understand a little bit more about its intentions if it is artificial.
All right.
What's NASA potentially hiding about 3I Atlas?
Well, on October 2nd, the 3I Atlas came closest to Mars, within 30 million kilometers. And the high-res camera on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter took several images of it. These are the highest resolution images we have, 3 times better in spatial resolution, about 30 kilometers per pixel, compared to the previous best image, which was the Hubble Space Telescope image. And that was a day after the government shutdown took over NASA, and we haven't gotten the data. And my point is that the politics of the day should not sabotage science. They have the data. They should share it with scientists. They can wait with any press release. But for the scientists to analyze the data, that would serve an important purpose of helping us design the future observations of this object. I should also say that the news yesterday was that this object came closest to the sun, and it received a huge amount of heat from the sun. And the latest report indicates that it became extremely bright, much more than expected for familiar comets.
What does that tell you?
Well, that is not the most unusual fact. It actually is bluer than the sun. And a blue color usually indicates very high temperatures if the light is emitted by some hot surface. But the sun is 5,800 degrees Kelvin above absolute zero, and it's very difficult to keep a surface hotter than that. In fact, an object at the distance of 3I Atlas from the sun could only be 20 times cooler than the sun, so it should be redder. And any dust.
But so what does that mean, Avi? What does that mean if it's hotter than the sun?
We have another anomaly. The object is bluer than the sun, which we don't fully understand. And as of a few hours ago, the first hint for a non-gravitational acceleration, meaning something is affecting its trajectory beyond gravity, was indicated. And so what I'm telling you is that there are new facts about this object that make it even more interesting than it was before. You know, before we knew it moves in the plane of the planets with a very small likelihood. Then we realized that it's very massive, about 1 million times more massive than the first interstellar object, Oumuamua. And then there was nickel with very little iron detected around it, the way we find in industrial production of nickel alloys. And then there was a jet from it towards the sun that was also anomalous. And then there was polarization from it that was never seen before for comets. So there are all these indications.
Bottom line, there's a lot that is making you continue to be very intrigued, a lot about this thing that makes it look like it might be something not quite natural, but we don't know yet. Avi Loeb, come back.